We're the Huge Movie Fanatics, and we are here to do a review for The Adventures of Tintin. This is one of my favorite movies last year. I'm a fan of this style of storytelling, like the 30s pulp serial kind of things. This one is Indiana Jones, essentially for kids. It's a kid PG-friendly Indiana Jones take with a historical character. Thankfully, they dropped racism from within the comic books. But the characters in this movie are exceptional. I really like Tintin, who's played really well by the dude who was in Billy Elliot. I can't remember his name right now. Sorry, dude. Jamie Bell. There you go. And Andy Serkis really just steals the movie. He steals pretty much any movie that he's in. It would be nice to see him in a live-action role one of these days.
Well, King Kong.
Yeah, that's true. He wasn't King Kong. He was pretty hip in that. And I like that the movie was written or co-written by Edgar Wright, who I'm a huge fan of, who did Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead and Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Very talented gentleman, and the movie is directed by Steven Spielberg and produced by Peter Jackson. They're going to do the sequel and reverse it, where it's going to be directed by Peter Jackson and Steven Spielberg. I'm almost more excited.
Spielberg's going to produce it?
Yeah, he's producing.
Yeah.
I'm
more excited for
more excited for the sequel because I think at the end of the day, I might like Peter Jackson better as a filmmaker. I think he has a more visual eye than Spielberg does. Spielberg was great and had a fabulous visual eye when he didn't have all the money in the world he can throw at him. Peter Jackson's got a great visual eye when he has all the money in the world and can throw at him, as well as when he has $2 to spend on his early movies. So I'm really excited for the sequel. But I give the movie 3.5. It's very exciting. It's
Did you drop a pill?
No, I didn't get sick. Did you get sick during this one?
I don't get sick during anything.
Oh, okay. No, yeah. But I didn't see the movie in 3D because I try not to do the 3D things very often. But I was a big fan of the CGI, the action, especially the chase in, what was it, Madrid or?
I don't remember.
There's this big action chase where they're trying to get to the golden thing, and you see it in all the trailers where they're sweeping through. That scene is just like really awesome. The action is just incredible. It took me right back to Raiders. I think this is the best Indiana Jones movie since the first one. Even though it's not Indiana Jones.
It's not.
But it's really quite good. It just made me feel that love of adventure that I got when I saw Raiders when I was a kid. And that's all you can really hope for these kind of movies. I give it a really strong 3.5. Excellent movie. Can't wait for the sequel. What is your take?
Well, yeah, I was hopeful because it's that era. What is it? Is it the 40s or something like that?
The 30s or 40s.
30s or 40s. And so that was, like I say, if you've watched any of the other reviews, like Captain America that we did, I'm a fan of that era. And I was excited, and also, I respect generally Steven Spielberg, kind of, sort of. I mean, I think that he's gotten less interesting since the good old days. I think that, like you say, when he's got too much, when he's got too many meat, I think he's just, I think as he gets older, he's losing it, which is fine. I mean, I'm sure that happens to a lot of us, or may happen to a lot of us, and which is fine, But yeah, I really like the credits actually.
The opening credit sequence.
Yeah,
it's great.
The credits actually get you in the mode.
Yeah, totally.
The mood that you got to be in, and I was like, oh, cool, this is gonna be cool. And then I don't know, for me, the more it existed, the more it was just like. That's my take on it. It was the credits, I think, were in a lot of ways some of the best part. And I like the beginning when he finds the boat or whatever and stuff. And then, like, I don't know, after, I can't remember, I only saw it once, so I can't remember. But it was like, to me, the more it went on, and especially after, I didn't like that character at all, that Andy Serkis plays, because I'm not a fan of alcoholism. Alcoholism is extremely detrimental to life and limb and stuff. And again, that's one of those things that Steven Spielberg, I always felt, I don't understand why, but like, penis breath. I mean, from E.T.
Yeah.
I always felt like he had to put like, I don't know what you'd call it, just shady or I don't know how you describe, not necessarily shady, but just, I don't know, just adultish, stuff in a kid's movie, and the fact that I thought basically that character ruined the whole movie for me.
Really?
Basically. Yeah, oh yeah,
Oh.
because especially the scene which I thought I'm still disgusted. And I don't mean to sound like some kind of president of the parents group or anything like that. I'm speaking as a human, as a sober human, and I was really disgusted with that scene where he's like the plane's like running out of gas. He's like, I can fix that, and he opens up the gas tank and he burps like alcohol breath into it. I mean that was like, all right. What did you think of that scene? Did you like that?
Yeah, I found that amusing. Here's the thing, like, alcoholism has affected my family, like, very specifically, and I don't condone alcohol in any way. I don't really drink it at all myself. So it's strange because I really like that character, but I think that stems from the comic books. Like, that's what that character is. I mean,
well,
that's the
fine,
source
if that's the source,
But,
but the only problem, well, yeah.
But
That's fine. I mean,
Yeah.
give it props for being a source,
Faithful.
faithful to the source material. I guess.
Yeah, but
yeah.
yeah, I really just sort of liked him, and the fact that he tried to get better as the movie went along. Like, I mean, that part, like, it sort of worked for it, but I think it was just sort of to be goofy and funny, and that's what it was. But it didn't really paint alcoholics in a positive light, because he looked like an ass the whole time.
Yeah, but the thing is, the problem is, and again, I don't mean to sound like the parents group, but when you're doing this in a kids movie, it makes it look like to kids, and I sound totally like I'm not a parent group person, but it's gonna make it look like to kids, like, oh God, this alcoholic is so fun and funny, and look at how much fun he's having, and and even just the mere fact that he's struggling with the alcoholism is just a fun hobby, and to me that's how it looks like it was portrayed, and it was just like his hobby was alcoholism, and it was such a fun hobby, and look at how funny he is, and I remember at the beginning, right after we meet him or something, he said some line right next to Tintin, and you saw like the alcohol, and it got in his face, and I actually thought that was I think one of the first things, and I actually thought that was a little humorous.
Yeah.
But then they just kept like, just alcoholic, until, like I say, the crescendo for me was like, belching into the gas tank, and I was like, oh my God. A lot of the action in it, like the plane scene, I just thought was, what I call today is, like just I don't know how I describe it, just ridiculous, overblown, overdone. I call it like the roll your eyes action. It kind of like just like the Transformer stuff, where it's just like, okay, how people even think of this up, let alone kind of like, but that's because I'm of an age, it's inevitable that, you grew up with a certain stuff, and for you that worked because that's when you grew up with it. And the thing is, it's only inevitable that, and I'm stuck in that era. I admit it, because that was, and as time goes on in movies, it's just, to me, the action, it was like too much. And the thing is, a whole bunch of kids are going to grow up with this action. That's too much, and for them, that's going to be what action is, And I understand that, but I'm reviewing it. I'm giving you my review. But I thought, and also the stuff like on the ship and some of that action, on the old ship or whatever it was. It was kind of reminded me of like second Pirates of the Caribbean. It was just like, action overload, and it's just like, okay. So I'm just gonna go 2 stars. I don't know why I'm actually doing 2 stars in retrospect, because I like the era, and I like what it meant well in a way. God, if you would have just taken out that drunk, which, like you say, I'm not familiar with the source material, but I guess it's got to be there because of that. But it sounds like they took out racism or something. I don't know what that deal is, but
it was written in the 30s, so it was commonplace to throw out words that aren't right. So,
what kind of words?
Like N-words and stuff like that, and if there were black characters, they were entirely like ink black, and with the big lips and stuff like that. And like,
Wasn't
kind.
pretty, was it?
No,
Okay, so.
wasn't thoughtful.
So yeah, and also what's interesting about John Williams is because I got actually for 50 cents at half price books, I got the Superman LP, like the soundtrack,
Yeah.
and I just started because I put it onto CD and then make MP3s, and I like did the first side recently, and I'm like, this shit. I mean, this shit is just like the soundtrack for Superman
Mhm.
is like doesn't even need a picture to go with it. This
Yeah,
is
it's just
so
gorgeous.
great, and then. It's same thing with John Williams for me, where it's like, it seems like the older he gets, it still sounds like John Williams, but where's like the.
I really like John Williams' score in this, but it did feel really reminiscent specifically of the second Harry Potter movie and of there were beats of Jurassic Park, a lot of beats of Jurassic Park, and I was just like, like when you're blending Jurassic Park and the Chamber of Secrets, I mean both are great scores, but it's just like.
In a way, has he written, all he can,
I don't think so, because I'll see things of his where I am impressed with his music still. Like The Terminal came out in 2004. I think that had a great score. That was unlike anything that he'd ever done.
No.
And he's had other scores recently that are very, very good. The third Harry Potter movie had one that was unlike any other score he'd ever done, and it was beautiful. It had like a kind of Celtic sound to it a little bit, and a medieval sound which you hadn't ever really heard from him before. Again, both of those were in 2004. I guess, so my example is about 10 years old. But
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is last year.
But yeah.
So yeah, to me it's just like yeah. I like some of the colors and stuff and.
I like the visual nod in the beginning when he's getting the self-portrait.
Right. Yeah, I imagine that looks like
and that was flat out the comic book. And I was like, that was neat. I really liked that.
Yeah.
And I like the dog. The dog was kind of cute for a kid.
Mm-hmm.
But more useful than Jar Jar Binks was.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So
well, not as annoying. Yeah, it was a cute dog, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, some of the colors and some of the shots and some of the things he pulled off were Spielbergian.
It was a bright movie. I will say that. Like you're right. It was colorful. It was bright. It wasn't like all darks and stuff that you seem to see in every movie nowadays.
And I just want to throw in real quick another negative. I didn't like the two. What are they? Cops. The two grid guys.
Yeah.
They annoyed me. They annoyed me. It was just like, oh no, there they are. They're back.
Again, they were sort of necessary from because they're from the comics, and
Yeah, but to make them less. Were they that annoying in the comics?
I don't really remember them, so probably. But yeah.
Yeah, it was just annoying.
I kind of I had no problem with them. I didn't really have a whole lot of problems with the movie. I thought it was a little long, but
Yeah. And then that scene where the woman's singing. That's another thing. It's like there's the woman singing is like the only woman in the movie. Doesn't Tintin have like a little
I don't
fling
really
or anything?
remember. No. I
Well,
don't really remember females being
usually-
part of the story.
Yeah, well, that's just weird because usually in movies now, they'll put
Yeah.
someone, So the only female in the movie that I can remember is that woman who was like, "Whoa."
No, yeah, I forgot about that.
That's
You're right.
the-
That seems to.
That she's the only freaking female I can
Yeah.
think of. And I'm like, was
Interesting.
Tintin, is the dog good enough or what?
Maybe the second one will introduce
Yeah,
the
maybe.
female counterpart.
So yeah, that's my take on Tintin. I was hopeful, but it kind of didn't pan out mostly because of alcoholism. How you done?
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys later. I wonder what the second one, does the second one have or wait, no, we don't know what it'll be called.
They do have a title. I can't remember what it is.
Tintin and the burps are back or something.
There you go.
Alcoholism strikes back.
There you go.
All right, catch you later on Huge Movie Fanatics channel here.